Hello, and thanks for joining us on Movie Night Memories. You must remember this, a podcast that focuses on movies and our favorite memories of them. Each week we discuss the films that are celebrating an anniversary from when they came out in theaters. My name is Sword Alexander, and I'm joined by the inspiration of this podcast, my mom, Tracey.
Good evening.
This week we're going to be talking about movies released between August 31st and September 13th. We have Psycho with the 65th anniversary, Dogfight with 34, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar at a 30th anniversary, Rockstar at 24, Burn After Reading at 17, and Sully with 9. This week we decided to see all of these films to get a fresh look and discuss them in more detail. Now this is a pretty big week when it comes to a couple hit classics. Psycho's revolutionary. It's one of the greatest films talked about to this day. I would say it's one of the greatest films of all time. It may not be Hitchcock's best, but it certainly does stand the test of time. And I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it, especially on this year, which is celebrating its 65th anniversary.
Yes, it's quite a film.
It was released on September 8th, 1960. So that's actually, if our recording is correct. Actually, no, it was yesterday. It was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, obviously. It was also written by Joseph Stefano, but Hitchcock did some collaborative efforts with it by making suggestions to some of the character choices when the script was being written as well. So it kind of was a collaborative effort, but they do put this full screenplay credit to Joseph Stefano. In case you've never seen Psycho before, we're going to be talking about spoilers with it today, but we would both highly recommend anybody has a chance to go see it now. But in case you've never seen it before, when Secretary Marion Crane is given a task to deposit $40,000 in cash to her employer's bank, greed overtakes her honest ambitions and attempts to take the money across state lines, encountering suspicious characters along her journey. The actors are Janet Leigh, Anthony Perkins, and Martin Balsam. Those are three prominent actors that show up in this picture. Now, let me ask you, when was the first time that you saw this movie?
The first time I saw it, I was 8 years old. I was with my sister Roxy. She was babysitting a family that was my dad's boss's children that lived on the same ranch in the Ocala area of Central Florida. And when I first saw it, I didn't see the whole film. I think she had me see it starting at a certain time, and it was around Halloween. It was, I think, before Halloween, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is silly. This is a silly movie. Why is that man dressed up like a woman? Why does he have funny faces?" And I think my sister Roxy was probably saying, "Isn't this silly?" Because I remember thinking, "This is silly." And she probably was saying, isn't he silly? Isn't that silly? I think she was trying to help me feel silly about it when it was actually a really strange, scary movie. And I don't remember my girlfriend, who was Debbie at the time. She probably went to bed, and Roxy got me up to watch it with her. Because she was scared and thought, oh... Or maybe I got out of bed, because I remember they went to bed early and got me out of bed, and I wanted to watch it with her. But I remember thinking, why,
This is silly.
Why is this happening? Why are they doing that? Why is that car sinking in the mud?
So you were a film critic way back at 8 years old, too.
But I remember thinking, this is a silly movie. This doesn't make any sense. Why is there a skeleton in the bottom of the basement? I thought it was a skeleton. Mm-hmm. I didn't put two and two together.
It kind of was a skeleton. Technically, it's a skeleton.
I'm like, why is there a skeleton? And why does it have a wig on its head? And I just thought it was silly. And I didn't think of it as being scary. I thought it was just this was a silly premise. Didn't make any sense to me.
But watching it now as an adult, obviously you understand it better from a more adult point of view about why things are happening, of course, too. So with this rewatch now, since we watched it this week, what have you taken away from it that may be different or
Well, I
similar?
saw it since then. Okay.
Right. I know you haven't seen. I haven't seen this since I was 8 years old. This is a totally different movie than I thought.
No, I saw it since then. But the first time I saw it, I was 8 years old. And if my parents knew that Roxy showed this film to me at 8 years old, they probably, especially my father, probably would throw a tantrum. But she was always showing me stuff at a young age. She was always showing me things that I shouldn't be seeing.
She was just trying to be a good sister, traumatize you.
But I didn't see the scene that I saw the other night. I never saw that scene before.
Which that's the ending scene?
No, the scene in the beginning.
Oh,
when they were in the hotel room.
Oh, yeah, the first.
I never saw that scene ever. That scene has never been shown to me.
The very first scene.
The very first scene where they're in the hotel room.
I thought, was that in the hotel room? I thought that was like his apartment. I thought it was like an apartment building.
It looked like it was a one-room hotel room. They were in a hotel room. And when he opened up that window, and there was no screen, I was like, oh my God, he could just fly out that window. I'd never seen that on TV before. Because I've only seen this film on TV. And I was thinking, I've never seen that scene. It must have been cut. Because I've only seen the movie on TV.
I guess they didn't want to show...
They'd never shown that scene before.
They didn't want to show a man and a woman coming out of a bed together at that time.
And she was in her undies,
Mm-hmm.
She was in her, skivvies. I'd never seen that scene before.
Primetime television. They didn't want to scare people with the idea of a sexual relationship in a movie called Psycho, which has way more connotations than that.
But I'd never seen that scene ever. And I've seen Psycho, but I've only seen it on TV. But, anyway, it's a very... And you found out that other people were nominated for awards. Mm-hmm. It never won major awards.
So this film was not... We'll go into that. We can go into more detail later, of course. But... yes, it was nominated for awards, but the big star of the film is Anthony Perkins, who plays Norman Bates, and he was never nominated for an Academy Award. I think he got a Golden Globe nomination, but he was never noticed by the Academy, which was a huge deal at the time.
But I don't think he was nominated for Golden. You said that Janet Leigh was.
Yeah, Janet Leigh was nominated for a Golden Globe. Anthony Perkins was pretty much outside of like a couple of very much smaller by comparison awards that he was nominated for, like the bigwigs. No, the bigwig award ceremonies never mentioned him.
He was so incredible in this.
It really is. My first time seeing this movie, I don't exactly remember. I do remember knowing about the plot. It's just like Star Wars. Like, everybody knows who Darth Vader is in comparison to Luke Skywalker. But everybody knows Norman Bates and his secret personality behind his own mind. So I knew about it for years, and from high school, not when I was 8, when I was really in high school. But I really actually watched the film back in college, and I was studying in a few film classes and film literacy classes, and that was the first time I had a chance to actually see the movie. It was also the first time I had a chance to see Planet of the Apes. Was watching it for a class, and I was really surprised at how. It was so well done. At that time I wasn't the biggest fan of quote unquote old movies. It is an old movie, but I liked newer stuff, which is expected. But I was super impressed. It reminded me of Night of the Living Dead, except you could tell this clearly inspired Night of the Living Dead with some of its film work, and it really still holds up, and camera work is incredible even to this day too. I miss the camera work that Psycho has brought into the limelight, and I wish we'd seen more of it in more modern films too.
It reminded me of a movie that Rod Serling would do.
Oh, absolutely.
It reminded me of a Twilight Zone movie.
It is.
That's what it. I kept thinking Rod Serling, Twilight Zone.
I love these really good close-up shots of Norman, when he first peers into that hole and you're seeing his eyes stare right into that hole.
You said you don't remember that part.
I don't remember it, but looking at it, looking how crisp and clear it is, and how the music really brings certain things into a certain light.
The music makes this movie.
It does.
And they don't mention that much about that.
No.
It's just like with Jaws, the music. The
But
music makes this movie.
Most people, when they think about the music of Psycho, they think of the like the big twist, but that's not
The driving, when she's driving.
Oh yeah, there's
That
some
car?
seriously good music in this that nobody talks about. Actually, speaking of the car, I really loved that first 10, 15 minutes of her journey when she's trying to leave with the money and the cop's following her, and I really love how they set up that the cop is the psycho they're talking about. And I would have loved to have been seen the movie for the first time without ever knowing about the movie, because I would have thought the cop was the psycho. But then you have the car salesman who ends up talking to her a lot. Oh, maybe he's the psycho. So you don't really know who the psycho in this situation is. And I really like that.
She could have been the psycho. Who knows?
I mean, technically, she was. She's insane. I'm gonna throw my life away, and I'm gonna move in with my boyfriend by taking $40,000. By the way, that's the equivalent of $40,000 in 1960. That was $456,000 today, and that's in cash. So that temptation is very much powerful. And I totally get it, but it is incredible how much money that is in one fell swoop. And she ended up, giving into her own ambitions and taking it in the attempt to, start a new life for herself.
She felt bad, and she was going to return it.
She did. She did feel bad, especially after talking to Norman. I really like that aspect of it, too. And I really like how we're able to see through Norman's point of view and get to open up and feel sympathetic for him. It was all really perfectly crafted together. There are a lot of, from the novel, there are things that are definitely changed from the film. Alfred Hitchcock mentions that he had some things taken out from the book, some personality quirks and some changes made in order to help understand, and you can understand and relate to Norman better. And I'm not going to go over all the changes because I'm not privy to them, but he made a lot of significant changes because Norman was not somebody you could have any sympathy towards in the book. So I'm glad that he was able to do that with the film itself. But yeah, this film really it's still groundbreaking. And despite that, it wasn't talked about that much. It was critically mixed, to say the least, by a lot of critics back then when I was doing some research on it, saying that, it's not that great. And it's like, it's fine. It's like a long TV episode of something. He could have done better. And now it's considered one of the greatest films of all time.
Which was the film that beat it?
The Apartment.
The Apartment. And that was a great film.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a more uplifting film.
Mm-hmm.
But not really. But I mean, it was not a psycho film. It was about a man and a woman and how they were going to... Well, I'm not going to go into it.
But
Anyway.
but Psycho is so different compared to, the way you're describing that movie, The Apartment, to me, is I've seen that movie 100 times before even...
No, you haven't.
It's about a man and a woman getting along, getting to know
No,
each
I
other.
did not even describe it.
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't want to get into it.
But
I
you
did
see,
not.
but can you
No.
see a glimpse of my point here, where it's like Psycho? You've never
No.
seen anything like Psycho.
No.
You've never.
No.
So something that's so different should at least have some sort of recognition for it. And
I think people were shocked.
they were shocked. Absolutely.
Shocked.
It's still shocking to this day if you think about it and look at it this way. Hitchcock, he funded the film himself, pretty much. He pretty much funded it himself. No studio wanted to touch it.
That's because they were shocked.
Because, yeah, it was very shocking material. And it ended up doing gangbusters and made $50 million in the box office. But, today's money, that's $545 million. It destroyed the box office. And it's still regarded as so great and so iconic, too. I love this movie. I think there's very little wrong with it. I really can't think of much they could have done to...
I didn't like the ending.
I liked it.
I didn't. No, I didn't. No,
So
not
I
that.
didn't-
No, not that ending. The ending about the sister and the boyfriend didn't even act like they cared about.
Yeah.
Her dying.
At the very end of it, they're with the police office. They're in the police office, the police department, and they're just casually asking about Norman and his questions, and then asking about her sister.
And then she said, she is dead.
And she was.
And
they were very cold about it,
Yeah.
about the fact that it's confirmed that my sister is dead, and the killer is right behind this wall here.
Yeah, they were not a sister that cared about her like she did, and the boyfriend that cared about her like he did. They would be up in arms and screaming and upset and want to kill him. Okay, they would want to get at him, beat him up, do something. They would be in horror.
They would be fixated on watching him just to see who he is.
They'd be horrified because they were around him. Okay, they didn't know that he killed her and how he killed her. They would have removed her body. They would have known that she was stabbed to death. It would have been a horrific situation.
They treated it like it was nothing. And that they were more fixated on what's wrong with him. It was a little bizarre at that point in time.
And they were talking about he was fixated on his mother and he killed the mother and the boyfriend and it was no. There was no. They would have talked about how he killed gently. And that didn't happen. So I think that was wrong how they ended it. That's the only reason why I'd give that movie a 3.5 to 4.
3.5 to 4.
Because of the ending. The ending was not believable.
It's okay. It's okay.
Maybe Hitchcock.
I think at that point he just didn't care about their feelings. He really wanted to help the audience understand, or rather not Hitchcock, but the writer wanted people to understand why did he do all this, to help people give an understanding on what
a psycho is.
What this kind of person is, and that even still, you could try, at least attempt to understand who this person is on some sort of empathetic level.
Yeah, but we got a movie here, and we've got it was realistic all the way up. And then he killed that detective, and he not detective, but private investigator.
Yeah, he was a private investigator.
But like a detective.
And he pretty much was a detective.
And I mean, there had to have been more of a realism. So I feel that there's a weakness here in this movie. And my little girl says it so too when I was little, 8 years old. That's not realistic. It's a silly. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I give it a 4.5. I would say that ending, that little bit, you're right, and I would give it half a star less because of it, but I think the film still stands up extremely well today.
Okay, 4.
And you don't have to upgrade your rating just for me. It's your opinion.
I just think it's unfair that Anthony Perkins was not given a gold star.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Did great. I really like this movie.
Other trivia is Janet Leigh, according to Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh would never take a shower after that movie. Something to that effect.
At least with either that or she would have with very, very clear.
There was something about her shower. She had to be locked or something. It was never.
Oh, I definitely would take a knife with me. I would definitely.
It really affected her, but it never affected me, even though I was 8 years old and exposed to that. To me, it was just silly.
Because your sister. Because she brainwashed you into thinking showers are silly.
No. I don't know how. I can't remember exact. I just remember thinking this is silly. And I'm just. I have to blame it on Roxy. That maybe she's put that in my head.
Yeah, but now you can actually take a shower without being traumatized.
But I do remember thinking of that movie. Sometimes when I've been in strange hotels and stuff, like little motels like that, I do think of Bates Motel. I do.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, the show. If anybody's listening, the show Bates Motel. In case you've ever been curious, you should watch it. It's really good. It's different, but especially near the last season, they really bring the whole Psycho movie into it. I love that movie. I love that TV show because the performances were spectacular. So I'd recommend that too.
I remember you were obsessed with that show.
Oh my god, I could talk about that show. I really could.
And there was a woman that was in it that I didn't like that played the mother.
Vera Farmiga, yeah. Vera Farmiga, that's her name.
Oh.
But I mean, I didn't remember you not liking her, but she was so good in it.
There was something about her that gave me the creeps.
Yeah, because she really did act like this crazy, but also understanding. You understand why she's so obsessed with Norman and stuff because they went through a lot. Like
there was something creepy about her.
Oh, she's extremely creepy. You could tell it's on the verge of very disturbing behavior.
Something about
and
her
stuff,
and when you'd watch it, and you'd say, "Oh, my show's on tonight," and I'm like, "Okay."
And Freddie Highmore is this is a good job. Anyway, it's not a movie; it's a TV show. Let's move on. Okay. right, next up we're going to talk about Dogfight. August 30th, it was released in 1991. It was directed by Nancy Savoca, and it was written by Bob Comfort. A lot of these two people wrote and directed a lot of smaller projects I'd never heard of before, but they did do a number of projects before Dogfight. A group of Marines split off to get the least attractive woman possible for a bet, but one of them changes their minds after feeling regret for his choice, promising to make it up to her. So they call it a dogfight because these group of guys, I mean, they're barely 18. I would say they're barely 18 or at least in their early 20s. They make a bet and they rent it out, and this is the unrealistic part to me.
Okay, you're not explaining it.
Please, do so.
Well, you're not explaining. So they're on their way to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
It's November 1963. Throughout the movie, as we're watching, I said, this can't be November 1963. Kennedy was killed. And I thought it was November 26th throughout the whole movie. We come to find out it's November 21st.
Mm-hmm.
The day before Kennedy was killed. Anyway, that's all I want to explain. They're about to be shipped out to Vietnam.
Yes. And either the whole bus of Marines or like at least a half of the bus have this thing going where they're going to rent out a nightclub and they're going
in San Francisco.
Yes, and they're going to bring the ugliest women they could possibly find in San Francisco.
And whoever has the ugliest one.
Yeah, whoever has the ugliest one wins the pool bet that they have, like the pool of bets money they have going between all of them.
And they all bet $50, which is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money in the 60s. Oh my, that really was like, it's at least, I would say at least double. That's like $100 right there. That's a ton of money for all that. And
or the winner gets $50. I can't remember.
I thought the winner got $250. And then, I think, anyway, they win a lot of money, but it's all between themselves. And it's so awful. It's so cruel. And it was kind of hard to watch at times. But,
anyway, we forgot to say, River Phoenix is the star.
So it starts River Phoenix and Lily Taylor. Lily Taylor's been in quite a few things. She was the lead in the movie called The Haunting, which is a remake of the original. She's been in a lot of projects. And he ends up inviting her to do this, and then he feels bad because he could tell how much she's looking forward to it, and they get to know each other a little bit before he asks her, and he starts to feel bad. He says, "We don't really have to go to this," and she says, "No, I really want to go," but of course she doesn't know what's going on. And
they don't tell the dates.
No, they don't tell the dates, and it's supposed to be all like one big joke, and it's really sick. It really is. But you keep watching because you want to see where it goes between the two of them, because obviously things escalate and go further up too. I don't want to go into too much spoiler territory about what happens, but I really. Anyway, this is my first time watching the movie.
Me too.
So this is your first time too.
I've heard of it, but I never knew exactly what it was about. I never really knew what it was about.
I was curious about the name Dogfight. Like, what a dogfight? That's interesting. And then all of a sudden we find out where it actually comes from. But I thought it was all right. I thought it was good.
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was excellent. And it showed me why they chose her. I kept thinking, why did they choose her? Why did they choose her? And then there was a scene that I realized why they chose her.
She really did. She showed her acting chops in this. And they really played off each other very well. You know that we were talking about the movie off recording, and I particularly like the scene where they kiss for the first time, and it was different from any other kiss movie that any other kiss part of any movie that I've seen for a long time, where it feels like it actually is the first time they're kissing each other. It doesn't feel rehearsed at all. It doesn't feel like one of those typical go in for it movie kisses. They struggle to really get a groove going with each other, and it's really it's raw and it feels real. It feels like you're walking in on somebody for these two people trying to enjoy this moment privately, and I was really found.
And when they first have privacy,
mm-hmm.
when they first really have privacy,
I was really taken aback, and I was really impressed. I think they did a great job putting that together. The actors did a great job really bringing that to the way it is. Did the movie? The rest of the movie isn't really too much something special for me, but I would say that I did enjoy it. I liked where it was going, and I wanted to see where it went. And I think the ending really pulls it together. When I was upset at one point near the end of the movie, I think it ended up bringing itself back to where it needed to be.
I think River Phoenix was incredible. I think he
he has something about him that you can't stop looking at him. There's something about him that draws you in. He has little mannerisms that make you draw you in. There's just something about him. He does things different. You don't notice his acting. It's just something about him that he's natural about how you see him.
I think he does what many actors, like a lot of actors prepare and then they go into it, and that's an actor prepares. As Stanislavski, I think he's very much living the Meisner idealism, where it's just like, I'm not trying to prepare, I'm just there. And he's there in a sense where, like, yeah, anybody can be there, but then there's him, who's not only there, but he's the focal point of it. And he really brings you to believe that you're not watching a movie, you're watching real life. I mean, a lot of his movies, of course, were like that. Stand By Me. Oh my gosh, now I'm not thinking of it. Samantha Mathis. What was the movie we just saw? What was the title? The Nashville movie.
Oh, The
Thing Called Love.
The Thing Called Love.
We've seen all these movies that are about him, and they're about very realistic situations. And he really knows his audience. If he was in like a sci-fi movie, it wouldn't feel right. It fits right with him because he's in these realistic scenarios because he is a very realistic person.
I can't explain it. As soon as he left her and then went on the bus back with these guys, he made up a story. Who he was with.
Didn't want to kiss and tell.
But then the other guy said, I saw you with her. You know.
But he told him in private, like, hey, I saw you with her.
Yeah. But he immediately got into that groove, and he still was so good about how he's just an incredible actor.
But the movie didn't really generate that much revenue. I could not find out what the budget for this movie was. Maybe I'll find it somewhere along the way, but it did $394,000 in the box office. It did not do anything. I don't know why, and it's kind of a shame because I think it was good. I enjoyed it. I think it was worth more than $394,000. I did want to point something out though. I looked up the Siskel and Ebert review of this, and Roger Ebert, he praised the film. And he pointed out that the performances were really something, and he called the story a very sensitive story, and it's something that he really appreciated. And Gene Siskel started to criticize it. He started finding like nitpicks, like real nitpicks with the movie. And Roger Ebert started getting mad at him for pointing out these nitpicks in the story. He's saying, you're just nitpicking. That's not criticizing, it's nitpicking. And Gene Siskel's like, this is my opinion. Like this, I'm not nitpicking. I'm pointing out why I don't recommend the movie. And they got into kind of an argument. And we've seen arguments with Siskel and Ebert before, but it really surprised me because at the end of it, you could tell they had to stop talking. Like the producer told them to stop arguing.
They were getting on each other's nerves.
Both of them did not look happy when they had to transition away. They looked like they did not.
Well, I was nitpicking about why they had her in a fat suit.
They never talked about that.
Okay, well that upset me. I should say that upset me. That was ridiculous. You could tell it was a fat suit. And then just padding around her chest, and it was stupid.
But what was really funny in that review is that Roger Ebert saying, you're nitpicking. You're not talking about why you didn't like the film. And he says, I am telling you why I didn't like the film. He says, no, you're not. You're nitpicking. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Anyway, what would you give it out of 5 stars?
I give it a 4. But I love River Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. I give it a 3. I give it a 3.
But I just explained.
Yeah.
But I love River Phoenix.
Yeah. That's good. All right, next up, we're going to talk about To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It's a very interesting title. It's a very interesting movie. I cannot wait to talk about this. This was released September 8th, 1995. It's celebrating a 30-year anniversary as of yesterday. It was directed by Beeban Kidron. I probably screwed that up. And it was written by Douglas Carter Bean, and I love this. 2 drag queens and a drag princess take a drive across the country to compete in a nationwide competition meeting the best and worst of America along the way, and introducing themselves to everyone they meet. This stars Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo as the two drag queens and the drag princess. We have Blade, the most badass Marvel character in movie history. Patrick Swayze, which, Ghost, all these... I mean, he was Point Break.
Right, but he was also...
Roadhouse?
No, the dancing guy. The dancing guy. He's in the dancing movie that...
I thought it was Ghost.
Yeah, but he's the famous guy in the dancing movie.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
And just... John Leguizamo has been so many great things. These people...
He was so beautiful as a drag queen. I was shocked. He looked like Rosie Perez to me, but more beautiful. He was more beautiful than Rosie Perez, okay? More beautiful than Rosie Perez.
When I first saw this movie, and I said, "What's this movie?" Tu Wong Fu. And I looked at the on the list of movies that came out that week. I clicked on it. That poster. My eyes bulged out of my head. What?
The only time I knew about this movie is when I saw the Patrick Swayze documentary about his life after he died. I didn't know about this, and they showed this saying that he was so happy when he got this part, Patrick Swayze. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Why is he so happy to play this part?
And then when you researched it, that he said that he begged them, practically, to get the role.
Yes.
And he had to prove to them that he could do the role.
Yes.
He went into...
He made the writer... said
to prove to them.
Yeah, said, let's take a walk. Let's walk around New York. And he took a walk around New York, and he was acting like what he was going to play for the role, and it convinced him that, hey, this guy could actually do it. And he cast him.
So he must have dressed in drag. He must have dressed in drag.
He probably did.
In New York.
He had to convince him, you got it. I can do it. I promise I can do it.
Wesley Snipes was incredible.
I could not believe Wesley Snipes.
He was an incredible drag queen.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless.
What's really upsetting is that Tom and John never, ever, never, ever talked about this movie to us. That's our gay friends.
Yes. My uncles. They're not my uncles, my blood, but they'll always be my uncles.
Never talked to us about this movie. And I'm going to call John about this. And I want to see it with him and say, why didn't you ever show us this movie?
I can't imagine, John, I'm mad at you. What's going on, Tracy? You never told me about Tu Wong Fu. Oh, stop it. No, I love this movie. I really do. This was one of the funniest.
And what did I say when I saw Robin Williams in this movie? Mm-hmm. I said, he's the reason why they had made this movie.
He's part of the reason why they made that.
But I didn't know this. I said, when I saw him, I said, uh-oh. When I saw him come into this film, I said, he's the reason this film got made. And and you found out that was the truth.
That was the truth. Because it kind of just started going around. Douglas Carter Bean, he's mostly a Broadway writer, and he's written a few things, and he just had the idea. Get this, I love this. He was inspired by a movie called The Gay Agenda, which was a very anti-LGBT, especially anti-gay, propaganda film. And one of the lines in the movie was, would you want to see these scoundrels or whatever invading your town? And he said to himself,
yes, I would.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun. And he had this idea. He wrote this movie about it. And he wrote this movie, and he brought around a couple places, and then somebody who happened to be one of the assistants to Steven Spielberg got it and then gave it to him. Steven Spielberg loved it so much, he personally invited Robin Williams to his house to do a cold reading. And Robin came over, they did a cold reading, and Robin said, I love this script, it's fantastic, but I can't do one of the lead roles. And Steven said, you gotta play one of the roles. He said, I can't. I don't want to do this. I love this script, but I can't. And eventually he agreed to do a very brief cameo, uncredited cameo, playing the character of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. And that was it. That was the only thing, because I think he didn't want to steal the spotlight. And then he ended up doing Mrs. Doubtfire or something
Mrs. Doubtfire was before this.
Yeah, he proved he could be a woman instead. But I think he just really said, I don't want to steal the spotlight of this. I want people who really want to do this because this is for them. And that's kind of how the movie essentially got greenlit.
When was Mrs. Doubtfire?
I think it was 94.
Okay. Because
when I looked for your nanny, I said looking for Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm. So that's how the movie got made, and I mean, I love this movie. This is one of the funniest movies I've seen in this whole podcast thing that we've been doing, and I really was thinking.
Well, come on now.
For me, it is. Yeah, for me, it is. I think it's extremely. It's funny because you're seeing these actors, especially these are pretty manly people, and they play it off so well. It's taken so seriously, and I love the lessons that they teach people about don't judge a book by its cover, obviously, and they have some great lessons to learn for people in general. My criticism is that when they came into the idea that this is going to be a cross country journey, because they're going to drive across country, I did not expect them to spend the entire movie after they left in this one kind of like very secluded, honky tonk kind of like redneck town.
That was disappointing.
And it was like I liked them being there. It just felt like this is not what I expected.
It was disappointing.
They really could have taken advantage of it and made a whole cross-country journey. It would have been way more exciting and way more fun to watch.
But it was going to be less expensive.
Yes, it was definitely less expensive. But that's my only criticism of it. Do you have any other criticism of it as well?
That's it. That was my criticism, that they didn't have more adventures. Mm-hmm. But... And I kept saying when they were in that dirt road, I'm like, why are they on that dirt road? Why are they on the dirt road? Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that. And I didn't like that the Quaid guy was trying to hunt them down when he was in that small town.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert agreed with us. He said that the three main actors, were so good that they deserved a better written movie, which is something that I also agree with. Gene Siskel also agreed. He said that the plot had issues, but the performances were excellent, especially Patrick Swayze. They love talking about Patrick Swayze in this.
Well, I think that the other two were just as good.
Oh, absolutely. They were all so great.
And I think they were just partying too much.
Yeah. Yep.
I think they had such a good time they were partying so
Absolutely
much.
Agree. I would give this movie, and I'm going to be objective about this, I would give it 4 stars, because although the plot's not what I wanted, what I got from it was so satisfying.
The makeup
and
happy. Everything, and the clothes that they use. I kept saying, how much baggage did they have? Because they were, driving across country. But that was what was.
I give it 4.5 actually, because I really did enjoy it. I could say that my choices of what the plot should have been is a nitpick. At the end of the day, it all ended really nicely, and I could watch this movie again right now if you wanted me to.
I'd give it a 3.5 to 4, but I'm picky.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, next up is Rockstar. It was released on September 7th, 2001. It was directed by Stephen Herrick, who also directed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and it was written by John Stockwell. A singer in a tribute band for the famous Steel Dragons rock group is hired by them to replace their lead singer after hearing his incredible vocal performance, inspired by the true story of Tim Ripper Owens, who had replaced lead singer Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
I didn't know that.
I thought we talked about that.
No, you didn't tell me it was inspired by who replaced lead. When did he replace Rob Halford?
I don't know exactly when. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't. But this was inspired by when, like, Rob Halford, I don't know what the reason is. I didn't get that much into it, especially after we watched this movie. But this was based off a real story that actually happened, where they got this guy, Tim Roper Owens. He was in kind of a tribute band, and they liked his performance so much they asked him to come, hey, do you want to come sing with us and see?
Well, he didn't replace him very long.
No, but he's been in other projects since then, too. So
no, but he didn't replace Rob Halford very long with Judas Priest. Let me tell you that.
Mm-hmm. But this is inspired by a true story.
And I went to see this in the movie theater because I knew some of the people that was in the movie, the rockers in the movie. And I remember then I was disappointed in the movie, and I was disappointed in the movie now. But I knew Jason Bonham. I knew Zach Wilde, Jeff Pilson. I was disappointed in the movie then. I was disappointed in the movie now, like I said. Mm-hmm. So it's not like rockers. There's some things about like rockers. I was disappointed how they tried to.
Yeah, there were some very strange choices that they made for the purpose of just telling a conflicting narrative story. that I just didn't care for. I'll say this. Mark Wahlberg plays the lead. He plays the singer. And it's not his singing voice. It's definitely not him. But I really liked his performance in general. Because I think he did a good job of this. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he could tell he had fun. And he had a good time.
I didn't like
doing
what he
all
did in
this.
the outtakes, putting down rock music. He put down rock music.
What did he do?
There was an outtake. He was putting down rock music and saying great stuff about rap music and hip hop.
Oh, okay.
So that I don't appreciate it. Okay, I don't appreciate it.
Fair enough. This is 2001. So maybe he's changed his mind.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Well, I thought he was really funny in this. Even though with all the bad wigs and everything, it was a good time. Jennifer Aniston's also in this. It's his lover, also his manager too. And I was surprised about how good she was in this too. She took this role very seriously, and I thought she did a pretty good job, all things considered, doing this movie.
I don't think it's hard to play a groupie.
No, or she's also her manager too. She was the manager, and she believed in him when nobody else really did. So I'd say she had a pretty prominent role. Like she said, "I'm not going to be some groupie. I'm out of here," and she left. She said, "I got more self-respect than that. I'm leaving." It was fun. It was fine. It was very cookie cutter when it comes to the plot. We know exactly what's going to happen. We know exactly where it's going, and then it went exactly where I thought it was going to go. It was very predictable. And although there were some fun parts in it,
there was some terrible, terrible, unbelievable things that transpired in that movie that did not make any sense, and it really put down rock music and the rock
culture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And
also I like that they tried to take they didn't try. They took liberties and some likenesses from Ronnie James Dio. But at the same time, they also kind of butcher some of his stuff, where it's kind of insulting in some ways, because one of the lead songs is "Stand Up and Shout," and it sounds completely different from Dio's "Stand Up and Shout," and it sounds worse. It's like a really bad attempt to seem similar to it, and the voice almost kind of sounds like Dio's voice. And I thought, well, you're just taking some creative liberties by kind of recreating a famous rocker. I don't know where it came from. But I guess it's your choice to kind of try to rip off or pay homage to Dio, and it just didn't fit. It didn't. They tried some things and it just didn't work for me. Not in my opinion. But I'm a big Dio fan, so I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, I'd say this movie was pretty disappointing. What would you give it out of 5 stars?
Of 1.
That's wow. I didn't expect it to not like it that much. Because
I'm mad at it.
Yeah.
I think it puts down rock music. And puts down the culture so terribly. So terribly. And what shocked me is the guy that played the lead. The guy. And
the lead singer that he replaces.
No.
What?
That other guy. And he's now playing Charles in The Crown.
Oh, right. Him.
What's his name?
Uh-huh.
And he's in all these other shows now. And I didn't know him at the time. And he has that terrible wig. What's his name? You looked him up.
I forgot to put it on the script.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's him. That's what's his name?
Yeah.
He's that British guy.
I give it a 2 out of 5. I thought it was fine. It had some good ideas, but it really fell apart. So I understand your 1-star review.
Well, I can't believe that some of them in there are, I don't know. At least they made a movie about rock. I guess I should just be, but no, I'm not happy about
It's
it.
okay. They tried and they didn't do so well. Apparently people didn't like it that much either, because it only made half its budget back. So people felt pretty similarly to it.
Yeah.
But I also think it came out around 9/11, so I don't think it might be people. Actually, here's a funny thing. So I looked up when that movie came out. I looked up other movies that came out around that same time. These other movies made a decent amount more
That
than
has nothing to
Rockstar.
do with it. That has nothing to do with it, I don't think. I remember when the movie came out. People were disappointed. Rockers were disappointed in that movie. I remember when I went and saw that movie. We were disappointed in the movie.
So next up is Burn After Reading, released September 12th, 2008. It was directed by the Coen brothers, who's done great films like The Big Lebowski and Raising Arizona, a lot of great films. It's about two dim-witted gym employees finding a CD containing potentially classified documentation from a former government employee and ask for a Good Samaritan tax in exchange for returning it. It's a very strange movie.
Bizarre.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I don't like this movie that much. I liked it at first, but it really started to fall down halfway through. It started to really fall apart for me.
It's sick. It's a sick movie.
It is.
It's a really sick movie.
I feel like we've seen some of the best of Coen Brothers movies.
This is a sick movie.
And I don't know what they were thinking of.
They're sick.
I don't know what they were thinking near the end.
It's sick.
It all fell apart. And the ending was terrible.
Brad Pitt is so cute in this movie.
He's hilarious.
He's so cute. He's so great in this movie. And then they do a very terrible ending. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting movie.
And it's kind of boring a good chunk of the time too.
Yes.
Which it's not what you expect from the Coen brothers because they did such great work. Big Lebowski is one of my favorite of their films. Like it's one of my favorite cult movies of all time. Raising Arizona is fantastic.
This was a sick movie.
I don't know what they were thinking with this. I really don't.
They wanted to just shock the hell out of you.
I think they were just living off of their own hype for such a long time, and they thought, oh, this is going to be our next big thing. And if people liked it, but here's the thing. I picked out this movie because I see it everywhere. Every time I go to any kind of DVD supply or like any store with DVDs, I see Burn After Reading. I never miss it. I always see Burn After Reading everywhere I look whenever I see DVDs in a pile. I'm thinking, what is so good about this movie that I see it everywhere?
It's a shocking movie. It's a shock value. And I don't like it. I could have done without it.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that at all. And it was unrealistic too.
Mm-hmm.
Very unrealistic.
Yeah.
And it was poorly done at the end.
Yeah, I give it a 1.5 because at least with Rockstar, I mean, like it had better ideas than this. This was just.
It had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah, it literally just ends. Like they wrap it up so quickly. It's like they wrapped it up because they didn't want to shoot the rest of it.
It was so violent at the end. It was ridiculous, and they don't even tell you it's violent.
Mm-hmm. It's not meant to. It's not.
It's a shock. I'm telling you, it's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking and it's disgusting.
So, let's move on. We're going to move on to our last movie, Sully. It was released September 9th, 2016. It was directed by Clint Eastwood and written by Todd Komarnicki. I think it's Komarnicki.
Komarnicki.
So, it's about the heart-stopping crash landing of Flight 1549 in January 2009 that's faithfully recreated, piloted by Chesley Sully Sullenberger and Jeff Skiles. So, I remember when this situation happened. I remember when this movie was marketed and it came out. I'm pretty sure we saw it a few months after it came out in the movie theaters.
I think it's shocking to me that they put Sully, the pilot, through so much. I had no idea until I saw this movie. And that's what shocks me. It really is surprising. This hero.
He averted disaster. An absolute disaster. Completely averted.
And then tried to blame him.
Nobody died. And they tried to, they wanted to make sure he did the absolute right thing. Because if he did any one thing wrong, it could have been at very least suspend his license and be permanently taken off of airlines, essentially. His career would have been ruined. But
they tried to say that he could have gotten to the airport, which he couldn't have. He couldn't have. He wouldn't have done what he did. And then he saved those people. And it is a miracle. It wasn't just him. God. Mm-hmm. God was involved in this. Any normal person that landed in a river like that and water would have blown up, and he would have been killed because he was in the front.
Yeah,
and his navigator
and his co-pilot would have taken the brunt of the damage. They could have been killed from that.
Most pilots would have been dead because it hit the water so hard. It's a miracle to me that all those people lived.
Mm-hmm.
And there was people that had jumped in the water, and they would have died of hypothermia. They lived. So it's just, it's an amazing story. And for them to put him through all that stress after the fact. And Tom Hanks did such a great job playing him. And the real guy is so calm.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in so many different interviews, and he really comes across so calm.
Very reserved.
He's like the perfect type of pilot that you would want to be piloting your plane.
Mm-hmm.
He's like an angel. He's like someone you would, that's the kind of pilot you want to be piloting your plane. It's an amazing, and of all the things that I've seen Clint Eastwood direct, this is one of the best.
It feels like in some ways you're watching a Western, even though it's in like a conference room. And it's very gripping. It keeps you invested. And even stuff that sounds boring, like he does a great job of bringing you into that world, making you feel like you're not just there, you know about this. You're part of the conversation. And it's something that's not easy to do.
He does different camera shots. Not just, he does it from his feet when he's walking through the water, trying to make sure people were out of the plane when they were getting out of the plane. He does just different shots that are important that you would want to see. And I like the way that he filmed it. I think Clint Eastwood did a great job. And he was older when this was filmed.
Mm-hmm. It kind of reminded me of the closest I think good thing when it comes to the filming is kind of like Aaron Sorkin, the way that he films things as well. It's very much kind of like that. But you could tell this is Clint Eastwood with his full experience of being a film star, being a director in those classic Western films, and kind of bringing that sort of thing back together with it and keeping the action very controlled in a very controlled environment. And I was very impressed. Even like you didn't feel like you missed anything. You feel like you were there. You feel like you're rewatching and everything. And watching even the simulations were so gripping because you want to see like what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Like, it keeps you on your toes. I just liked it. I thought it was great.
And it opened up your eyes to what they put that his wife through and Sully through and then Sully gave credit to his co-pilot.
What I also really like too, and I agree with that. What I also really like too is that despite how cold the environment is where it takes place, despite how cloudy it is and how you could feel how cold and just morose the whole movie is, it feels also very bright at the same time. It brings out a very sense of calm, a good sense of calm, a sense of tranquility. It's just that cold nature and everything. Really, you feel like you're there in January in 2009. You feel the pressure that's going through his head, and that point in time and that winter weather. Even if you're in the heat of the summer, you can feel chilly. You can feel the chill in the air, and I think that that's something that's really important that deserves to be talked about and appreciated in films like this that are brought to life.
There was a funny statement. Somebody said, "What do you wish you could have done again?" or something. Mm-hmm. I wish it was in July. Yeah. Something like that.
That was a real. I think that was a real quote too.
Yeah.
From him too, and it brought everything kind of more in a positive light.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the movie. That's pretty much how it ended too.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay. I just something about. I wish it was July.
It's still just as good as I remember it. I would give it a 4. I really don't think there much could be improved upon, but at the same time, it's a movie that, it's not worth that much replay value. I'd say it did a very good job about what it's supposed to do, and I wouldn't ask too much more of it.
He's a true hero. He's a true person that saved people's lives. He's Superman, he and for them to put him under such scrutiny is awful. think it's awful.
What would you give it, the movie?
You know, I was never bored in this movie. Even Laura Linney, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I was impressed with how she acted like his real wife. The real wife was even more attractive than Laura Linney. Seriously.
One with a little jab. I don't like her that much. Jab. She's also not as pretty.
No. I just said not as attractive. I mean, I was surprised how attractive his wife was. The real wife. I saw the real wife on TV on Good Morning America. Okay, I was when this happened, Sword. I was so engrossed with what really truly happened. I was watching it so closely.
I thought it was funny what you just said. Okay.
I mean, seriously, he has a beautiful wife and everything. I remember it like the back of my hand.
Okay, but what would you give the movie out of 5 stars?
I think I'd give it a 4, like you. Yeah. The only reason is that I wouldn't give it a 5 is that there was some things that just got a little repetitive, but it wasn't. It just
there's so much you could bring out of meeting after meeting, after investigation, after deliberation. There's only so much interest you can have from something like that.
Well, it just. I'm just.
So, all right, I think that about wraps it up.
Yep.
Thank you all so much for listening. This was a great week, a couple weeks for movies. We're not going to keep this 2-week format going, but around this time, it was a good time for us to give it a shot, and also it was better for our scheduling this way too. We'll probably go back to the week format, but this was a great chance to check out all these movies. We really appreciated it. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to having you listen to the next episode. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thanks.